A very good afternoon to all my dear students. Lovely good afternoon wishes I have received. Mr. Om Gupta, Pathak, Komalpreet, Prananthi P, Mohit Shoaib, Arthur, Vansh, Mr. Manish Singh, Amit, all of you, good afternoon, children. So many of you have just joined. Aditi, Tamanna, Venkat Lakshmi, Ankruti, Anand, Naveen, all of you children. Welcome to again a beautiful platform where we can continue with the learning and progress towards our sale of goods chapter. So you all must have revised your unit 1, formation of contract of sale. One small last topic, that is a settlement of price, was left to be covered. Also, we'll be doing today a few of the descriptive questions from the study material itself. Students, let me tell you one very important thing. Your study material, as I always say, is the Bible for you. If you have thoroughly done your study material and you are continuously revising the content from my presentation and notes as well, and you are making the notes along with the class, whatever I'm teaching, no one can stop you from clearing your CA Foundation Law. I can guarantee you, if you are doing all these things nicely, definitely you will achieve your goal. Second important thing I want to tell you all of you is study material after every chapter. Behind every chapter, MCQs and descriptive questions are also given. Please do give it a fair reading. We will be doing few MCQs in the class itself. Today also we'll try to cover up few descriptive questions also from the study material. So just try to test your knowledge, close your answer sheets, don't cheat. Try to judge yourself whether your concepts have been clearly understood. Always try to do the MCQs first by yourself, then try to see the answers. So Institute is really very helpful and kind towards you. They have given all the answers also for the descriptive questions as well as for the MCQs also. So you are quite blessed. You have quite sufficient material ready for you in that one book only. But please do it. वो कहते हैं ना, कहने से कुछ नहीं होगा, करने से होगा. So you have to do it in order to achieve your goals. All right. Okay. Many of you have still joining. Apurva, Shalini, Piyush, Richa, Miss Chanchal Singh. Good afternoon. Harshita, Naveen, Mogan Priya Z. This is the name I'm reading for the first time. Okay. Good afternoon. Leeladhar, Rohani, Prachi, Yagesh, Mohit, Khushi. Great, Asha, Devyanshi, Vivek, Chanvi, Pratyush, all of you children. Okay, Fiza Freen has come up with a doubt also, so you can ask your doubts. Okay, Mr. Akib Lodi is saying, my concepts are clear, but sometimes I'm not able to convey my answer. So Mr. Akib, that is the art of learning law. In law, most of you, what mistake that CA Foundation students generally do is, they know everything, but they don't know how to attempt it. So when I say about descriptive questions after every chapter, when we will go to the mock test papers and revision test papers, I will exactly teach you how you have to frame the answers and how you have to express yourself. All right. So it is very, very important. I'm glad you have shared your doubt. So it's very important that you should know how to express the answer and kitna likhna hai, how much you have to write and where to put a full stop. You don't have to write 2 to 3 pages answers in law. This is not a BCom or graduation paper, children. It is a professional exam, CA Foundation. You have to write crisp and to the point, and it should be covering the relevant text which has been asked for. Miss Pizza is asking if the contract is made. So this is related to your section 7 and 8. We'll just cover the section 7 and 8 perishing of goods. And this question will get answered, Miss Pizza. Okay. All right, students. Yes, Venkata Lakshmi, we'll be covering perishing of goods. Don't worry about that. Aniket is asking meaning of perishing. Perishing means when goods get destroyed. So yes, you can do it. Mr. Jain is asking, I'm doing BCom regular college. Can I still crack my CA? Definitely you can do it. For CA, you only need determination and hard work. You all are putting in so much hard work. Stay determined and keep achieving your goal with a positive mindset. Miss Neha saying, definitely we learn how to write the descriptive questions. So when I teach you about that, then we will jump it over there. Underlining the key points. Yes, Miss Muskan, that is important. So now let's quickly start because we have so many things to cover. So without wasting much of time, let us quickly begin with section 7 and section 8 where we left. So all of you, please open your study material. Those who have, they can open their hard copies. Otherwise, you can see with me over here on the screen. So all these concepts were covered. Subject matter of contract. This is where we left. So all of you now remember what is the subject matter of contract of sale. The subject matter means किसके लिए contract of sale बनाया जाता है. Contract of sale is always made for the goods. It is always and always for the goods. So goods may be existing goods, future goods, contingent goods. Always it has to be for the goods. Mr. Sundaran C is saying, I have some doubt regarding insolvency. Please, you can write what doubt you have, okay? Aisha, Minal, sections are not compulsory as far as CA Foundation is concerned. But when you go to CA Enter and Final, they become mandatory. So as of now, even if you want to leave the sections, you can read. All right, now let's come to the very important. Now I'm not going to the query session. I'm not seeing over there. So full concentration I want over here. Pens and pencils, papers in your hand. Let me complete section 7 and 8. And then we have to discuss your section 9 and 10 as well. So let us complete both of these sections first. And then we will jump back to the end. Query session, okay? So goods perishing before making the contract. Now this is the section 7. Very, very important. Section 7 and 8 actually talks about the same thing, but the only difference that we are going to notice over here is, children, here the word before making the contract of sale is important, and here the word after an agreement to sell. So let me take a quick test of yours. What is the major difference between contract of sale and agreement to sell? Okay, let's not ask you. Let me only answer because then all of you keep on writing. You can write it, but I'm not reading over there. So once contract of sale is made, ownership gets transferred immediately. Correct. In agreement to sell, the ownership gets transferred at a future date. So all those who go with this answer, excellent, fabulous. That's absolutely correct. So the only major difference between contract of sale and agreement to sell is under agreement to sell, ownership is yet to be transferred. However, when I make a contract of sale, I sold you this pencil, you purchased it, you made me the payment, the ownership gets transferred immediately. Now what happens is section 7 says goods perishing. Perishing का मतलब होता है destroy हो जाना. Destroyed or maybe damaged. So perishing means destroyed or damaged. So somebody who was asking the question of apples getting destroyed, Fiza or another person, Ankit, now pay attention, your answer, you will get the answer for that doubt. So perishing means when the goods get destroyed. It says when I've made a contract for the sale of specific goods. So you said that A wanted to sell specific kind of apples, red color apples. Contract was made for those specific red color apples. And you're going to sell it to Mr. B. But just before you can complete the sale, without the knowledge of seller. So remember in the last class, I told you buyer and seller were sitting and finalizing the agreement. They were finalizing the contract over the cup of coffee, and without their knowledge, the goods got damaged. Waterlogging happened, all the water came in the godown and all the apples and everything that was to be sold got destroyed. So now the goods are not answering the description, means they are not as per the same contract that we entered. You wanted to buy fresh red apples, nice, juicy, big apples, but now they have got damaged. Water has come into between them. They are rotten. They are not spoiled. Now they don't answer the description that was given in the contract. So here, the contract will become void. What is the meaning of void? You have done under Indian Contract Act. Void means which has no meaning in the eyes of law. Now, Mr. B cannot drag me to the court and say that Harleen ma'am is not giving me the apples. She was the seller. I will tell section 7 is applicable. Goods got destroyed without my fault. I was sitting with you. I never knew that this is happening and the goods got damaged. So the contract gets cancelled. Example number 20, exactly the same thing. A agrees to sell B 50 bags of wheat stored in A's godown. Due to waterlogging, all the goods got destroyed. Now, neither parties were aware. Neither buyer was knowing, neither nor seller was. So the agreement becomes void. Now, what is the difference between section 7 and 8? Section 7, we are talking about the contract of sale. Contract means where the property is to be passed to the buyer immediately. But here, section 8, remember that example of shoes that I was making for you? I gave you the date, come after 10 days, I'll be selling you the shoes. Now, subsequently, we have made the agreement. You agree to me, okay, ma'am, we'll come after 10 days. But subsequently means baad mein. Again, without the fault of buyer and seller, the goods got damaged before the risk passed to the buyer. Here, the risk passed to the buyer immediately on the contract of sale. But still, the goods have been destroyed, so nobody is liable. Here, before the risk passed means it is a case of agreement to sell. Then the agreement becomes void. In both the cases, section 7 tells you contract of sale becomes void. Section 8 tells you that agreement to sell will become void. Perishing of future goods, if the future goods are specific. Now, you were very specific that you want Skechers 5-number shoe size only. And I told you that they will be coming in my factory after 10 days. So they are future goods as well as they are specific. But now when they were coming and they were loaded in the truck and that truck met with an accident and all the goods got destroyed, supervening impossibility occurred. Now also the contract will become void. What is the meaning of supervening impossibility? कुछ ऐसा हो जाना बाद में जिसकी वजह से कॉन्ट्रैक्ट परफॉर्म करना पॉसिबल नहीं है. Something happened because of which the contract could not be performed further. So if such kind of impossibilities happen, disaster management occurs, or any kind of impossibility because of which you're not able to complete your contract, the contract becomes void. So perishing again is a term basically used for eatables. The goods get damaged, perished. They are not answering the description. You have contracted to buy a huge kgs of milk and it got spilled in between. The goods got damaged. The goods got destroyed. All these kind of categories fall under section 7 and 8 where the goods are perishing either before the contract is made or before the property, before the risk has been passed to the buyer. Clear? So in both the cases, the contract as well as the agreement becomes void. Now let's come to the last topic of Unit 1, Chapter 1, that is ascertainment of price. What is So is the voice now clear? Is it clear now? Hello, Megha ma'am. Voice may, yeah, they're just trying to rectify it. I'm there only with them. I All right, students. All right. Because of the network, students, yes, definitely many of you have written there is not good work connect network because of the unpredictable weather conditions. So please cooperate, students. I can understand. Now it's clear. All right. Many of you have written clear. Okay. Okay. All right. Fine. So a certain amount of price. Let's come back to section 9 and section 10. Thank you, Sneha. Thank you, Soban. Thank you, Manisha, for making it clear. Thank you, Krishna. So price is the basic thing that we need to pay for the goods. So we understood what is happening to the goods. Many of you are still asking queries. Ma'am, what if the goods get damaged because of the seller's fault? So when we go to the third chapter, where we'll be talking about the delivery of the goods, there we'll understand what happens when seller is at fault. But once over here, we are just understanding that the goods perished, the goods damaged without the fault of buyer or seller. Okay. So if it is without the fault of buyer and seller, then the contract and the agreement becomes void. Now let's come to the topic of ascertainment of price. Price is something that we need to pay for the goods that we are purchasing. So there are three methods how the price can be fixed. Number one, the price is fixed in the contract. So A told B that I'm going to sell you my pencils for rupees 500. So the price is fixed. This 500 rupees price is the fixed price. Now both of them know that what money has to be paid. Or it can be a method to fixing in the manner provided in the contract. Now this point number 2 is very, very important. Here we are talking about the valuer. Somebody saying voice is clear, somebody saying voice is lagging. You can hear me now. So valuer means the valuation has to be done a third party. Point number 2 we are discussing. Here the price will be fixed by a valuer. Means third party is appointed who will come and he will see the details about seller and buyer and will fix a price. The third method is price is determined by the course of dealings between the parties. So course of dealing between the parties means both the parties have been dealing since long with each other. So say for example, from months I'm selling you the goods for rupees 4200. So now a certain kind of price we have fixed among us. So either it will be 4000 or it will be 4200 or maybe 3800. Somewhere around 4000 we have been fixing the price. So it will continue in that way. Sir, am I audible now? Because I can see messages of students. Is my voice clear? In between it's lagging. Can we do anything of that? So shall we continue? Okay. So students, so three methods we have discussed about this ascertainment of price. Number one, it is fixed by the contract. Number two, an independent valuer is appointed who will be fixing the price for us. And number three, it is determined by the course of dealings, means on the business deals that we are doing with each other in order to determine the price. Now what happens, section 10 clearly talks about the agreement to sell at valuation when you are fixing the price by a third party. So whenever there is an agreement to sell the goods and the third party needs to fix the price, there are two important cases that we need to understand in case of the fixation of price by a third party. When the price is to be fixed by a third party, at point number one, this third party does not meet the valuation only. Now, I asked A is agreeing to sell the goods to Mr. B, and Mr. C was someone who has to make the valuation. Now, Mr. C just rejected. He said that I'm not going to value your goods because I have to travel, or maybe I'm having some another work in hand and I won't be able to make the valuation for your goods. In such a case, the agreement becomes void. Okay, so the first case that we understand is where A is selling the goods to B and the valuation was to be done by Mr. C, and Mr. C straight away rejects it. He says that I'm not able to make this valuation. In such a case, the agreement becomes void. But if the goods, now this provided, this is the condition which is very, very important. Now it says if the goods have been delivered and they have been appropriated by the buyer. Appropriated ka matlab hota hai they have been used by the buyer. Okay. So if the goods have been appropriated and they have been used, and if the third party is not able to make the valuation, agreement becomes void. That's clear. Second part, it says if the goods have been appropriated by the buyer, means the goods have been used by the buyer, then a reasonable price needs to be paid. Say, for example, I sold you the goods, you took away the goods from me and you sold the goods further to somebody else. However, the valuation was pending. Valuation was pending. Since goods have been used by the buyer, you definitely need to pay a reasonable price for the same. Okay, students, I hope you have understood section 10. Subsection 1 point is clear. 2 points we have discussed. If the valuer is not able to do valuation, agreement becomes void. Second, if the buyer has used the goods further, then you must pay a reasonable price for it. Point number 3, this is the point number 3. It says if somebody is prevented from making the valuation. Now what happened? A was to sell the goods to B and the valuation was to be done by Mr. C. And he told him that, look, I don't want the valuation to be done because I made up my mind not to sell the goods further. Now, because of the fault of one of the parties, C is not able to make the valuation. Here, the party who is not at fault, that is Mr. B, can file a case and claim the damages from Mr. A. He will straight away go to the court and he will say, look, I have made a deal with you. Valuation was to be done by Mr. C. And because of your fault, valuation is not being done. I want to claim the damages on this behalf. All right. So whosoever is the party in fault will have to pay the damages. It can be B also. The buyer has stopped the valuer from valuing the goods. Then he needs to pay the damages to another party. So there are 3 cases in case of ascertainment of price. Let's read example 21. This will become more clear when you read this example. I can read out your comments, students. I understand the weather is not cooperating really well with us, but fingers crossed. Just keep doing what I'm asking you. Just keep reading example number 21 with me. And I'm trying to speak slowly so that you can understand the words which I'm trying to tell you. So P is having 2 bikes. Okay, so who is P? P is a seller in this case. P is having 2 bikes and he is agreeing to sell both of the bikes to S. S is the buyer over here. So S is a buyer and the price was to be fixed by Mr. Q. You have to tell me, students, who is Mr. Q over here? Is he the buyer, seller, or he's a third party? Who is he? Tell me. Prayukta, try telling me who is Mr. Q, Mr. Amit, Sundaran. Sale is executed, Sundaran C, once you have given the goods and payment is made. Mr. Sovan Patra, I hope now you have understood. Very good. Excellent. All those who have given. Q is the valuer. That means you can hear me now clearly. Thank you, Krishna, Kavita, Manisha, Mohit, Venkat, Lakshmi, Vidisha, Pratima, Nishka. So you all have understood Q is the valuer. Now what happens in this case is Mr. P gives the delivery of 1 bike immediately. There are 2 cases in this particular situation. One is that number 1 bike is given to the seller immediately. So first bike is given immediately. What happens when the bike is given? Excellent. All of you have answered Q as the third party valuer. So great. So he gives the delivery of 1 bike. So that means property in the goods have passed to the buyer. Now definitely you need to pay a reasonable price for this goods. Once the sale has been made, once the delivery of goods is done, you become bound to pay the payment for that. Now, after this, when the second delivery of the bike was pending, this valuer refuses to fix. He says, now I'm not going to fix the price. So the seller, Mr. P, asked buyer to return the bike which you have already taken. And also he says, take the second bike. So what is he saying? He is asking him to return the bike which has already been sold. And he is asking for the delivery of second bike. However, buyer is saying, give me the second bike also. So it became very confusing. Valuer has refused to value the goods and seller is saying, return me the first bike, and buyer is saying, give me the second bike also. Now what will happen? It was concluded that for the first bike, the to pay the reasonable price. However, for the second bike, the contract becomes void. So all of you need to write down the answer for this. For the first bike, students, reasonable price needs to be paid. Why it needs to be paid? Because ownership has been transferred to S. He has already delivered the bike. Ownership was transferred. You must pay a reasonable price. If the valuer is refusing, I told you, if you have appropriated with the goods, if you have used them, once the goods have become yours, you have to pay the price for that. But since it was not clear how much we have to pay, so we must pay the for second bike, the contract becomes void. Why it becomes void, you tell me. The contract becomes void. Why? Because valuer, Mr. Q, refused to determine the price. Is it clear? Please write down this answer for this particular case study. It's very, very important. You should know. If such a kind of question comes, you have to write it like this. Yes, Mathi Vithana, Mr. Mathi Vithana, if the price has been paid, if the payment has been paid, then the ownership has been completely transferred. But here, since the price was not determined, so you have to pay a reasonable price. Now, what is the meaning of reasonable price? It is something which is determined in the course of dealings, or maybe by the court's decision has to be enforced. What will be the, you just see the market price for that particular good, and according to that, the determination of the price is done. Okay. Yes, Miss Manisha, absolutely correct. Mr. Om Gupta, absolutely correct. Saloni, very good. Correct answer you all have given. Komalpreet, yes, impossibility of performance. Definitely, section 7 talks about the same thing as you have learned in section 56. That is correct, Komal. Anishka, your answer was correct. Om Gupta, Sneha, all of you are writing correct answers. Great. So with this, we come to an end of first chapter, unit 1. We have finished it. Now let me let's have a quick revision, and we can do one question for a revision. All these MCQs, children, you must read these MCQs. We have covered few of the MCQs in our presentation also, so you must keep revising them. I want all of you to have your eyes on the screen. Now, nobody is going to open their study material. I am trusting all my students. You will not cheat the answers. You will quickly send me the answers of the question I'm going to ask you over here. So we are going to do question number 4. Please don't check the answers, okay? You have to classify the transactions according to the types of goods. A wholesaler of cotton has 100 bales in his godown. What is the meaning of bales? Packets. So he has kept 100 bundles of cotton. The whole rolls that you have, those bundles, 100 bales of cotton were lying in his godown. He agrees to sell 50 bales, and these 50 bales were selected and set aside. Now you have to tell me what type of good is 100 bales of cotton and what type of good is 50 bales of cotton. The one who answers first will be doing it without cheating. Suryansh, please write down example number. Which example you want me to explain again? So Mr. Om and Mohammed Shoaib, you have answered ascertained. I have asked you, you have to tell me 100 bales dash goods, 50 bales dash goods. Mr. Sundaran C, once the seller has become insolvent, we simply have to remember the points of differences. What happens in case of sale? He was already, the ownership has been transferred. Now the official assignee who is appointed by the court to take care of the goods of seller, he can go and recover the money. How does his solvency position changes? What happens? How he becomes fine in his business? We don't have to go into that detail. Okay, you only have to learn that point of difference. So all of you, most of you have cheated and answered a certain goods because you have not even heard what question I'm asking. So Venkat Lakshmi is answering the correct. 100 bales is uncertain, 50 is a certain. So all these, my dear students, who have quickly answered a certain goods, now they have written, yes ma'am, 50 goods are the certain goods. So excellent. Ms. Chaitra, Prasad, Aniket, Chanchal, Priti, Saloni, Om, Akeb, all of you are correct. Mr. Rohit, all of you are correct. Great. Utkarsh, Purva, Vikash, Hitesh, 100 is uncertain, 50 means certain. They have been selected, specified. So it becomes specified also. Great, Mr. Hitesh. So good students, very well done. All of you have answered it correctly. Priyanshu also says the one which is in bulk is uncertain. So great. Yes, Miss Muskan, you are also giving correct answers. And I'm so happy that my voice is back with all of you. I've actually been shouting at the top of my voice so that you all can hear me clearly. So please read the second one also. A agrees to sell B 1 packet of sugar out of the lot of 100 packets. What category of goods is this? So when you pick up one packet of sugar out of the 100, so 100 is the unascertain goods which are lying in bulk. You packed one packet of sugar, you have kept it aside for the buyer to come and take it. It becomes the ascertain goods. Great. Correct. All of you have given the correct answer. T agrees to sell S all the apples this year. So what category of goods is third? So third answer, what will be that? Yes, Miss Nishka Jain, specific goods. Now again, you have been stuck between specific and ascertain. Say, for example, only 50 bales of cotton were lying in my godown and you picked up those 50 only. Now this is a specific good. Existing goods, which are specific, you want only these 50 taken and done. Now, when you have to, out of the lot, when you pick it up and pack them, then it becomes ascertain. So there is a very thin line of difference between specific and ascertain. So after packing, you can call them specific goods also. So that's correct. Okay, Anishka? Uncertain. Kriti, it's uncertain. Okay, it's not uncertain. Muskan, you're also writing yes. Uncertain, Muskan, that's fine. Bhumika, correct. Yes, Mr. Sundaran C. In case of insolvency, you can recover only the payment from the buyer. Okay, because goods have already been in case of contract of sale. In case of an agreement to sell, you only had to keep the buyer because not recover the money. All right. Janvi, Saurav, Gautam, Harshita, Mr. Dev Jyoti, future goods is the correct answer. Wonderful. Piyush, you're still answering uncertain. Sahana says contingent goods. Why, Sahana? Why contingent goods? Why not future goods? Please tell me. So future goods is the correct answer. All of you have given the correct answer. Great. Good students. 4-2 was uncertain and ascertain both, and 4-3 was future goods. That's correct. Let us quickly see how you have to write the answers in the exam. So this is exact the way that you have to write the answers. Third one was exactly a future good because it is amounting to agreement to sell. I told you whenever it is an agreement to sell, it is always for future goods or contingent goods. For contingency, you have to attach certain uncertainty. So in this particular case where the apples are to be grown, it will be considered as a future goods. Here, 100 bales, 50 were selected, becomes certain. You all have answered correctly. Again, this one was existing goods, one packet, which is not known. So it is all the 100 lots of packets. So both the answers you can give. The entire lot of 100 is the uncertain goods. Once you have packed up one packet of sugar you've kept aside, it becomes the ascertain. All right. So let's move to the second presentation. I have already uploaded this PPT, students. This is entire section 7 and 8. We can, we have also, you can also see the answers from here. For that bike, I've already written in my presentation also. The answer for the first and second bike. Let us test your knowledge quickly now. We have answered, done few of the questions. Seller 100 the keys. We have done this one also. The contract of sale of goods deals with. Have we done this one? Fifth question. It deals with the movable goods, money or immovable goods, or all of the above. Have we done this? Question number 5. Have we done it? Please answer me. Fifth question. Mr. Sheikh, thank you so much. Thank that ESKCA Foundation. I'm so happy to read your comment, Mr. Abhishek. All the best, and definitely, if you keep continuing with the same zeal, you will clear your CA Inter also. All right. Mr. Saurabh, you have given D the correct answer. No, it's wrong, Mr. Saurabh. Krishna A is the correct answer. Good. Krishna Singh is the first one to give the correct answer. R, Satya, Anshika, Saloni, Manisha, Om, Dishika, Sahana. All of you have given the correct answer, children. Yamini, well, good is the correct answer. All right. So contract of sale of goods always deals with the movable goods. Money is excluded, immovable goods is excluded, and one more thing is not included in definition of goods. Do you remember? Can you name me one more thing which is not in goods? There's one more thing included in as a part of goods. What is that one thing? So what is the correct answer that you have given? Absolutely correct. Actionable claims. Great. Dan, Manisha, Saurabh, actionable claims is the correct answer. Saloni is saying stone query. Okay, that means you have started revising. So that was part of immovable property only. All those coal mines and building stone query. So that's also correct. Okay. Perishable goods. Priyanshu is saying perishable goods is not part of goods. What is that? Perishable goods means movable goods, those which get perished. There's nothing to do with this. It's wrong answer. Yes, things which can be severed from land, something is part of goods. Good. Actually, end of date, Khushi Kapoor, absolutely correct. All right, let's go to another question. Which is the section for defining, okay, let's leave this for the time being. Let's go to this. Future goods are the goods to be manufactured or produced, acquired by the seller after making the contract of sale. Is it true or false, this statement? Shita, actionable claims is correct. What happened? Yes, Mr. Roka, that will be considered as a so, sale of goods, they are part of the G Goods and Service Act. Sale of goods never cover any services, only the contract for work and labor, wherein we have differentiated it from sales, we need to pay for the labor charges. Absolutely correct. Are the goods to be manufactured or acquired by the sale after making the contract of sale? So the correct answer for 7. Okay, this also you have already answered me. So what is not included under the terms contract of sale? So goodwill, actionable claims, stocks and shares, harvested crops. The term contract of sale does not include is actionable claims. Already answered. Subject matter of contract of sale of goods is existing goods or future goods, goods perishing before sale, but after agreement to sell, goods perishing before making the contract. Quickly answer me the 9th question. What should be the correct answer for 9th one? Send me the answer for the 9th one. Yes, actionable claims was correct. For the 8th one, that was absolutely correct. What is the subject matter? We just did this topic. What is the subject matter of contract of sale? Is it only the existing goods, or what happened if the goods perished before? So D, all of the above is the correct answer. Rohit, Abhishek, Asha Begum, Yashas, Vidisha, Kushi, Sahana, Sundaran, everyone has given the correct answer. Kate is saying 9A, that is wrong. 9D is the correct answer. Okay, good students. So D, all of the above is the correct answer. Okay, last one for all of you is Prananthi, Somli, everybody is correct. Swapanali, correct answer. Sumit, Amit, Pranati, all of you have given correct. Which creates the right of right in rem, a right in persona, a right in things, or all of the above? Tell me. Also define whatever right you're selecting. Wear your thinking caps and tell me the correct answer for this. Khushi, Rohit, Saloni, Khushi, Kapas, Sagudar, Saloni, Dayanika, Chanchal, Rohani. These are the first one to send me the correct answers. Very good, children. So this can you also tell me what is the meaning of right and rem? So right and rem is the correct answer, students. Sale of goods creates the right of right and rem. हाँ जी दिव्यांशी, आप सबके आंसर्स मेरे को शो हो रहे हैं, but it is very very difficult to read the names of so many students. Let me read a different name. Fiza is also correct. Janvi, Shweta, Rohani, all of you are correct. Yasha, Sneha Singh, all of you are correct. Children, right and rem. So can you quickly define me what is the meaning of right and rem? What does it actually mean, right and rem? Rights against the whole world. Very good. Rohani, Prasad, Swapanali, Krishna, R. Satya, Om Gupta. So that means my voice is clear now. Some of you were saying it's still not clear. If it would have been not clear, you won't have answered me this correct one. So right against the whole world means you have all the rights of this universe. Once you get the goods, you have purchased them, buyer gets all the rights against these goods. Good. Abhishek, Saloni, Janvi, Dhanushri D. Good. Shriya, Vishwakarma, Divyanshi, Pranati. सबने ठीक आंसर दिए. देव ज्योति, all of you are correct. So question number 11, I think this is the last question in front of you. Okay, we have one more. 12th is very easy. Sale of goods deals with the transfer of general property, special property, or both. Quickly send me the answer for this one. Somebody sending C. There is a C. For 11th, are you saying? Wrong. Chandana, wrong. You're also saying both. Janvi also saying both. Wrong. So Sameer will be correct. Divyanshi, wrong. Ashmita, wrong. Aniket, you're also wrong. You're also saying both. P. Yamini, you are correct. Thank you, Miss R. Satya, for saying the voice is absolutely clear. That is making me more happy today than your answers, because it becomes so stressful when children are not able to hear what teacher is saying. So all those who are saying both, oh my God, you really need to revise your syllabus. Ms. Janvi and Miss Deepika, Miss Chandana Gupta, can you tell me why are you saying both? What do you mean by general and special property? Quickly give me answers. What is the meaning of special property? And Akruti Thakur, you are saying only special property. So yes, Muskan, general, that's it. So the correct answer to this one is sale of goods deal with the transfer of general property of the goods. Children, we did yesterday in lot of discussion that special property is only in the case of pledging of the goods, in the case of bailment. All those who have written both, it is incorrect answer. Is absolutely correct. Those are only the goods which go with which can be sold under special circumstances. That's correct. So general property is the correct answer. Special property has nothing to do with sale of goods. That is the case of pledge and bailment. And तो होगा ही नहीं इसका आंसर. इसका आंसर है general property. All right, and goods lying in bulk or lots are known as, this is very, very simple. We have already done this. I hope I'm connected. Question number 12. Mr. Amit, here we're not talking about fixed assets. Mr. Saurabh, ask me what you want to ask because right now I'm not having sale and hire purchase fourth point. Which point you want to understand? Write that point, okay? So that we can quickly take it up. Yes, Komalpreet, Aniket, special property is given as security. That's correct. And answer number 12, C is absolutely correct. All of you knew this one, and everyone has given the correct answer. So, uncertain goods is now completely in your mind. You all have understood. We have done descriptive question also, MCQs also for the same. All right. So, let's take a small break over here, and after break, we'll be starting with conditions and warranties. Today, let me just show you what all we are going to do today in conditions and warranties. We will be discussing the conditions and warranties, and we will be covering their meanings, differences, and section 13 will be covered in today's class after this short break, and also stipulation as to time in detailed discussion about stipulation we're going to have. All right. So let's take a small break over here. And, thank you. All right, welcome back, students. Okay, so Saurabh is asking the differences between sale of goods, between sale and hire purchase. So let us take your queries, because once we jump to another chapter and your queries still remain unanswered, then it is very difficult to come back to these chapters. So anyone still have any query from chapter 1, formation of sale of goods, you can ask, okay? Burden of risk of insolvency of buyer, he is asking. So let us go to the sale and hire purchase points of differences. So this fourth point, 2-3 students more have raised this query. So let's pay attention. So what happens in the case of sale? See, children, whenever you do the differences, you always have to remember who becomes the owner. Okay? Thank you so much, Krishna Katel. I'm so happy to read your comment. Thank you. I'm glad to know that you're enjoying the lecture. So that's good. So insolvency of the buyer. What happens when the buyer becomes insolvent? That means he's not having sufficient money to make the payment for the goods that he has purchased. Now, in case of sale, the seller becomes the owner. Is it correct? And in case of, not correct. In case of sale, the buyer becomes the owner immediately because the goods have been sold. Buyer is the owner of the goods. Here in hire purchase, seller only remains the owner because we have given the goods on rent and the hirer will use the goods and pay us the rental periodic payments for the same. So seller only remains the owner till the last payment. Now what happens if the buyer is declared insolvent? That means he is not able to make the payment for this. So the seller will have to bear the loss. Official assignee of buyer will be appointed and he will be making payment for all the defaulting payments that the buyer had to make. So some proportion will be given to all the creditors. So that's why it is said the seller will have to bear the loss. So he might not be able to recover full money. You can write it down. This means seller might not be able to recover full money because buyer has been declared insolvent. He doesn't have sufficient funds to pay. However, under hire purchase, here owner is seller. So there is no risk of the seller. If hirer will not pay my installment, I will simply go and take my goods back. So in case of insolvency of buyer, under sale, the seller will bear the loss because buyer is not able to pay. And in case of hire purchase, seller himself was the owner of goods. Suppose मैंने आपको water bottle hire purchase पे दी. So you were paying me 5,000, 5,000, 5,000, say for example. Okay. So 5,000 बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाएगा. Let's say 50 rupees, 50 rupees, 50 rupees every month. So you paid me 100 rupees, but the third month you failed to pay 50 rupees. So I will quickly go and I'll take back my water bottle and I will return the initial installments that you have paid. Why? Because I will not bear the risk. I am the owner of the goods until the last installment is paid. Clear ho gaya? And insolvency of seller also, I have already explained this point. Somebody was also asking yesterday, example number 6 in this chapter. I hope it's now clear. So this is something very simple. Example 6, I don't know why you had a doubt. It simply talks about the future goods because these potatoes are yet to be grown. It says this is not illegal. ये problem आ रहा होगा आपको. Word illegal means it is a legal contract. You cannot say that it is illegal because the goods have not been grown. It is simply an agreement to sell. Because today you cannot tell how many potatoes will be grown. It depends upon the weather conditions, climate. The weather nowadays is so unpredictable. So you never know now what happens in the future. So you cannot call this kind of agreement illegal. It is an example of agreement to sell. All right. So I hope all the doubts are clear. Fiza is asking, why don't we say that delivery is a transfer of property? We say it's transfer of possession. So Fiza, property in the goods is the ownership. So delivery of goods basically tells us that now the goods are actually growing from the seller to the buyer. आपने possession उसको दे दिया. Possession means custody of the goods. You were already having the goods and now you're giving the goods to the buyer. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Hitesh. Okay. Yes, Manisha, just in rem is clear. I hope now it's clear. Difference between special and general property, Harshita is asking. So special property, remember the case of bailment, remember the case of pledge, where the banker can sell your goods only if you do not pay the loan money back, but general property means the ownership of the goods. Mr. Soban, please ask what doubt you have. Official assignee in case of insolvency of seller. Yes, Aniket, that's correct. Mr. Sahib Khan, please ask your question clearly. I cannot understand what you're writing. Hire purchase, Mr. G. Yashwant, I hope this is clear now. Suryavansh is asking about question example number 21. So let us see example number 21. I think we just discussed example 21 today itself. Please ask your specific doubt, children, in the same, because it's very difficult to talk about example 21. Maybe we have learned seller was selling 2 bikes. 1 bike is already sold. Buyer has taken that bike. So now you need to pay the reasonable price for the same. For the second bike, valuer refuses to make the payment. Therefore, the contract becomes void. Okay. Mr. Saurav, both existing and future goods are the subject matter of contract of sale. Okay. Mr. Suryansh, I hope example 21 is now clear. Komalpreet, executed and executory's difference is that in case of contract of sale, it's executed. You have already given the goods and payment is made. In case of an agreement to sell, something is yet to be done. So executory means the same. It is an agreement to sell when you talk about the executory contract. Mr. Akib, deliverable state means when the goods are ready to be taken by the buyer. Once you have packed the goods, everything is ready and the buyer can come and take. Okay. Bona fide, Aniket, bona fide means the real owner, somebody who is a legal owner. Endorsement, Mr. Amit, endorsement, we have simply learned when you can transfer the things further. So document of title to goods can be endorsed further, means you can give it to another person, you can transfer it to another person. What is bailment? Mr. Pankaj, previous class, differences between sale and bailment. Listen to that recorded lecture. पूरी बात यहाँ दोबारा करेंगे तो बहुत time लग जाएगा. Same goes with you, Mr. Soban. Already these differences have been explained. Miss Neha is saying official assignee will pay from where? Let the official assignee decide. We don't have to go into that detail, okay? Okay, bailment means when you have given the goods to another person for certain use and he has to return it to you after that usage, you are not selling the goods. All right? Mr. Pavan, Piyush, Asha, I hope now it's clear. Thank you so much, Mr. Piyush Gupta. I'm glad you have understood everything. Great. All right, now let's move forward. Future and contingent goods are complementary. Yes, Abhishek, because both of them are depending upon the future. Future is very uncertain. Kabhi bhi kuch bhi ho sakta hai. Is karke unhe complementary kaha gaya. Means they both are related. Auctioners, Ritu, we will cover about auction sale. There we will discuss about it. Yes, Apurva, you can call them contingent goods also. The example of tomatoes that you have written. Miss Dolly Das, you can read it and you can ask a specific query in that MCQ piece. Let's move ahead now. We have to start with unit 2 also. So I have tried to cover almost all the queries of your first chapter also. Let's start with unit 2. If still anything is left, don't worry. tomorrow, next day, when we meet, when we start the session, you can ask your query related to the same. All right. Now, let's begin with the condition and warranties. First of all, you have to understand what is the meaning of stipulation. Please, all of you write down, stipulation means the representations made by the seller. These are the representations made by the seller. Say, for example, if I am going to sell you this particular pen, if I am the seller and you are the buyer, and if you come to my shop, so if you say that, ma'am, I want to buy this green marker, I will say, yes, please take this. And if you are not sure that you want to buy it, I'll try to convince you. See, it's very beautiful. It's white in color. It has nice red stripe on it. It writes very beautifully. Your handwriting will get improved. What are these things I'm trying to tell you? Have you ever noticed when you go to any stationery shop or any cloth shop और कहीं भी जाते हैं, कपड़े खरीदने जाते हैं, कुछ भी लेने जाते हैं, तो सेलर हमेशा अपनी 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 शॉप की रखी हुई चीजों के बारे में, प्रोडक्ट के बारे में अच्छा ही बोलते हैं ना, होता है ना वैसे. So all these are the representations made by the seller. I will try to convince you that you must buy it. Why? Because I'm a shopkeeper. I want to earn my profit. I want to make my sales. तो मुझे तो अपना बिजनेस करना है, काम करना है, तो मुझे अपनी सेल्स बढ़ाने के लिए कन्विंसिंग पावर यूज करनी पड़ेगी. तो एक कस्टमर को जब सेलर बोलता है कि दिस इज वेरी नाइस, यू मस्ट बाय इट, इट्स ब्यूटीफुल, ऑल दीज काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स इन लॉ इज नोन एज stipulations. These are the representations made by the seller in order to convince the buyer to buy the goods. All right, so stipulations are the representations which are made, presentations made by the seller to convince the buyer to buy the goods. Now, these stipulations can either be conditions or warranties. So that is what we are going to understand in this chapter. Because if condition is not fulfilled, then what happens? If warranty is not fulfilled, then something different happens. Clear ho gaya stipulation? You all can recall when you go to the market, when you go with your mother, she wants to buy any suit. So you must have seen how the shopkeeper flaunts, oh, it's looking so good on you. You should buy this color. This dress is very nice. And even boys, when you go to buy your t-shirts, always the shopkeeper, the wise guy will always tell you that it's very nice, this color is suiting you, this color is suiting you. Because वो हमेशा अपना product बेचना चाहते हैं, हमेशा तारीफ करेंगे ना. So all these kind of nice things that everyone says to sell their products are the stipulations, the representations. So those representations which form the part of contract. So for example, you said, I want to buy a washing machine which should weigh 7 kgs front load. So I want to buy a Whirlpool washing machine, 7 kgs. So now he has shown you many different kind of weightage of machines and front load machines, but you finally convinced for the 7 kg one. So now the stipulation that the seller is making that yes, it is 7 kg. So it becomes condition. It becomes a very important thing because it is forming part of your sale. There might be many things that the buyer is saying, that the seller is saying, like I just give you an example that this is very good on you, on everything, and you might not buy it. You might come out of the shop. Then there is no condition and warranty. But कुछ ऐसी बातें जिनकी वजह से आप सेल करते हैं, आप वो चीज खरीद रहे हैं, seller is able to convince you on the basis of that. That particular representation is known as stipulation. Now let us understand what happens when this stipulation becomes a condition and what happens when it becomes a warranty. A condition is a stipulation which is essential to the main purpose of the contract. If you come to my shop, I am a stationery guy, and you've come to purchase a pen. Obviously, the pen is to be used for writing. You went home and you saw that the pen is not working. What will you do? Won't you get angry? उसमें निब ही नहीं है. पेन में पेन का बेसिक पर्पस क्या है कि वो लिखने के काम आए, यही है ना. मारना तो नहीं उससे किसी को कुछ, आपने ना ही तोड़ना है, आपने उस पर कुछ करना है. पेन का बेसिक पर्पस that I want to buy a pen. Do you need to tell the seller for this thing? Do you even have to tell that I want a pen for writing? It is implied. It is common sense that if you're buying a pen, you should be able to write with it. But when you went home, you opened the pen and the nib was broken, it's not working. What will you do in such a case? Even if you have not studied the chapter, just tell me, if you purchase something and you're not satisfied, what will you do? Yes, Janvi, these are marketing techniques. Yes, that's great. Clear sales techniques, stipulations. Exactly right. Muskan, Hitesh, all of you are correct. What will happen? You will return that pen. This is what you will do. Yes, children. I can't get your answers. All those who have written, yes, ma'am, we will return that pen. That is absolutely correct. Now, why? Yes, you will not be able to make, you will return it. Good. So, why will you return it? Because there is a breach of condition. There is a breach of condition. Somebody is saying, I will exchange it. Somebody saying, I will return it. Somebody saying, I will claim the money back. Definitely, Mr. Prem, Mr. Varun, Komal Preet, you all are correct. Why will you do it? Because something has been breached. What is the meaning of breach? Breach means non-fulfillment. You were purchasing the pen for writing and this pen is not, you're not being able to write. That means there has been breach of condition. There was an implied condition. There was an essential part of the main contract that the pen should be used for writing. Now you have the right to cancel the contract and also you can return the goods. So condition is that stipulation. It is that representation which is made by the seller, which is very important for forming the contract. And if it is breached, means it is not fulfilled, you have the right to return the goods and also to cancel the contract. What is the meaning of the word reputed? Reputed means to cancel. Repudiated means to cancel the contract. So this is the exact definition of condition. Something which is very important for forming the part of the contract. Lot of electricity, कुछ थोड़ा बहुत गड़बड़ आ रहा है उसमें. So all these kind of things are collateral. Collateral means related. They are not important for the contract, but yes, they are related to the main purpose of contract. Here you can go and talk to the shopkeeper and you can claim the damages. You will not go and say that I want to replace the pen. You will simply say that, can you do something of this cap replacement or can you just fix it nicely? Otherwise, the pen is writing very absolutely correct. Or maybe you can claim some damages for the same thing, but you have no right to reject the goods and you cannot cancel the contract. The contract will continue. You cannot reject the goods. You cannot cancel the contract. You can only claim the damages where the warranty is breached. Samajh aa gaya? So we have understood what is stipulation. Stipulation means representations which are made by the seller. You can write it down, please. Stipulation are the representations made by the seller in order to convince the customer to buy the goods. Representations made by the seller in order to convince the customer to buy the goods. Further, the stipulations are of two types: conditions and warranties. The stipulation, which is very important for forming the contract, like 7 kg washing machine, you have convinced the customer that it is yes 7 kg, you have agreed to it, and now when you go home and you find that a whole lot of goods were not coming, it is just 4.5 kgs. It is just able to take the load of 4.5 kg. then you have the right to return the goods. You will cancel the contract because basic requirement ही fulfilled नहीं हुई. However, if there is a repair or damage required, say for example, machine is working absolutely fine, but little part of it is broken, then it will be considered as related to the main purpose of the contract, but you can only claim the damages. जैसे आप कहते हैं भी repair करवाना है किसी चीज का कुछ replacement चाहिए, that can happen, but you're not supposed to return the goods. That kind of stipulation is known as warranty. When we do more examples from the study material, it will become much more clear. So A asked B to give a washing machine which is fit for washing woolen clothes. Now, what is here over? What is the washing of woolen clothes? Is it a condition or warranty? You tell. Is it the example of a condition or warranty? If I've asked that machine should be fit for washing woolen clothes, what will happen? Don't worry, Miss Manisha, you'll understand warranty. अभी हम दोबारा examples, बहुत सारे examples करेंगे हम, so you will understand. Don't worry. Okay. Akib is saying A gives shirt to dry cleaner for washing. While receiving the shirt, he checked it is cleaned properly, but we went home and there was a stain. So in such a kind, Mr. Akib, first of all, if you are purchasing the goods and selling the goods, then contract of sale is applicable. Here, you can simply go and talk to the person and you can get your finishing and other things which is pending. You can get it done completely. Okay. Yes, it is example of condition. All of you have written correctly. So now answer me. If this machine was not fit for washing woolen clothes, तो आपने बोला कि मुझे washing for woolen clothes चाहिए, तो आप घर ले आए, you have purchased this machine, but now unluckily you found that this machine is not washing my woolen clothes properly. The clothes got torn off. What will you do? So that means the condition has been breached. You all said, ma'am, this was condition. I said, fine. So now I'm saying condition has been breached. Why it has been breached? Because it is not washing my woolen clothes. What can Mr. B do? Angel, Utkarsh, Harshita, Pali, Yashas, Deepika. Correct. You have given me correct answer, Miss Somli Ghosh. Now tell me, what will you do? Divyanshi, that is warranty, guarantee. That is exactly different. You don't have to go into that detail. So time period can also be there, but it is more likely for the guarantee that you give for goods. So Mr. Prem, Venkatalakshmi, Mohit, Muskan, Gautam, Manisha, Komal, Vidisha, they, Akib, all of you have written correct answer. Now tell me what he can do. Absolutely correct. He can return the goods and also claim the damages. Very good, Manisha, Sneha, Abhishek, Miss Lavina. This name I'm reading for the first time. Muskan, Varun, Rohani. All of you are correct. Vedant Sharma. So many students we have. R. Satya, Anshika, Gautam. You're all correct. He can return the goods. तो आपको तो chapter ही समझ आ गया फिर तो. Condition अगर breach हुई है तो we can return the goods also and he can claim the damages also. Absolutely correct. And cancel the contract also. Repudiate word use कर सकते. So this is what is written over here. And let's go to another example. R consults S, a car dealer, for suggesting a car suitable for touring purposes. So this is your study material exact same example. So he went, Mr. Ram consulted Sham. Sham was the car dealer. He is the seller. He said, I want a car which is suitable for touring purposes. Means he wanted to take the car to hills and lands and other spaces, and he wanted something to be suitable for touring purposes. Now, when he went with the tourist, he found that the car was not actually serving the purpose of tourism for which he has purchased it. So here it will be treated as breach of condition. He can cancel the contract and he can claim his money back. However, if there were certain manufacturing defects, for example, the car was fit for touring purposes, but the music system was not working nicely. Or you can see in this picture, car seats were not placed nicely. The wheels he wanted were not as per his choice. All these cases will be treated as breach of warranty. Here you can simply go back to the seller and you can request for the replacement of the things. Here you cannot cancel the contract still remains valid, but you can still replace the products and it will be treated as breach of warranty. So you can also claim the damages. Clear ho gaya? Condition and warranty, both examples are clear. So let us quickly do the points of differences between condition and warranty. All those who have written correct answer. Yes, Krishna, you can also claim your money back where you are returning the goods if it is a breach of condition. Yes, Shriya Vishwakarma, that's correct. Good. So with respect to meaning, condition is the stipulation which is essential for the purpose of contract. Warranty is a stipulation which is only collateral. Collateral means it is only related. बहुत जरूरी नहीं है, but हाँ collateral है, related. No, Bidisha De, you cannot cancel the contract if the warranty is breached. Good. Yes, Angel, you can ask for repeat. In case of breach, you can cancel the contract and claim the damages if condition has been breached. However, if warranty is breached, you can only claim the damages. Now, what happened? This is section 13. Conditions can be treated as warranties also at times. Section 13 is again very, very important. We will read each and every line of it from study material also. So don't worry. Just keep paying attention as you have been doing. You are giving me very good, correct answers also. I am very proud of you students. So conversion of stipulation. Sometimes what happens, breach of condition under 4 circumstances can be treated as breach of warranty also. Now, what is the meaning of this thing? I just now told you that under breach of condition, what can we do? Return the goods and cancel the contract. Also claim damages. This is what we have learned. When condition is breached, we return the goods and cancel the contract and also claim the damages. Under breach of warranty, we just learned only claim the damages and cannot return the goods. Am I right? We cannot return the goods. If music system is not working, you will only go and claim the damages and get the repair done. You cannot return the goods. But if the car is not fit for touring purposes or machine is not 7 kgs, then you can return the goods. You can claim damages also. You can claim your money also back. Claim damages as well as the money paid for goods. That can also be taken. Cancelling the contract का मतलब ही है कि आप पैसे वापस दे सकते. Now he says, what is the meaning of breach of condition? Can be treated as breach of warranty. What does this mean? It means these are the 4 cases where I'm not going to return goods, but I'm going to claim the damages. Am I right? Can you make it out from this understanding? Breach of condition mein I'm returning the goods and claiming damages also. Breach of warranty mein I'm only claiming damages. But now I'm going to talk about there are few cases. Say for example, I bought that washing machine which is only 4.5 kgs, but you wanted a washing machine of 7 kg. But eventually, when you washed your clothes, they were getting washed very nicely. Although the condition was breached, but you were very happy with the goods. आपकी इलेक्ट्रिसिटी भी ज्यादा नहीं लग रही है, गुड्स मशीन अच्छा काम कर रही है, it's running very smoothly, the clothes are getting very nicely washed, the white clothes also it is washing and cleaning very nicely, so you're satisfied with the goods. But your condition has been breached. So you went to the buyer, went to the seller and you said that I want to treat my breach of condition as breach of warranty and I will only claim the damages. समझ आ गया? कुछ केसेस में हम गुड्स के साथ अटैच्ड हो जाते हैं, उन्हें वापस नहीं करना चाहते और हम सोचते हैं कि हम सिर्फ डैमेजेस ही क्लेम कर लेंगे, गुड्स हम अपने पास रखें. These are the cases where buyer does not return the goods and only claim the damages. Write this down in your notebooks. These are the cases where the buyer only claim the damages and not return. Written, everyone? Let us see what are those 4 cases. It says number 1 at the option of the buyer. Buyer ने खुद ही option दे दिया कि अगर कल को मेरा goods choice के नहीं आए तभी भी मैं damages claim करूंगा. I will not return. Circumstances are such that the goods cannot be returned. Number 2 point. He has waived off this condition. Maybe I have sold the goods to someone else. Now I can only claim the damages. I purchased the washing machine from you. It was not 7 kg. It was only 4 kg. But I have sold it further. So I can only claim the damages. I cannot return the goods. If the goods are divisible, you have accepted only part of the goods. And the goods can be divided. Then buyer can reject the remaining goods. Otherwise need to accept the remaining. So ये बहुत अच्छा एग्जाम्पल है स्टडी मटेरियल में. अभी वहां जाएंगे तो पढ़ेंगे. जब गुड्स को डिवाइड नहीं करा जाता, सेपरेट नहीं हो सकते, उन केस में हम गुड्स को रिटर्न कर ही नहीं सकते. यू कैन नॉट रिटर्न द गुड्स. And number 4 point is fulfillment of any condition and warranty is excused by the reason of impossibility of performance. Now, what is this impossibility? Uncertainty, supervening impossibility, or section 56 jumps in. You wanted to, you have purchased goods from Mr. A and all the goods were to be delivered in plastic bags. Now, plastic bags have been banned by the government. They cannot be used. So this contract cannot be fulfilled in that way. So here you can only claim the damages, whatever damages you would have suffered, cost you would have suffered by non-fulfillment of this condition, that can happen. But since law has only made it impossible to do it, so you cannot return the goods. समझ आ गया? All right, let's go to the study material and let's cover it from there as well. And then we'll get back to your doubts. Students, keep revising the content as and when we have done the chapter. So we have started with a very important chapter today, conditions and warranties. If you think that you will not revise it and then also it will be doing wonders for you, then I'm sorry, it will become very, very difficult. So it's very important that you revise the chapter the same day that we have done. So today your homework will be to make the notes of the definitions. What is condition? What is, first of all, what is stipulation? What is condition? What is warranty? You will write in your notebooks the points of examples for condition, example for warranty. Then you will write differences between conditions and warranties. And then you will explain section 13 in your own language. Though I will not be physically present to check your notebooks, but I am sure and I'm assuming that my students will obey ma'am's instructions and they will do their homework today itself. Okay? Now, section 13 says when the condition are to be treated as warranty, this is what we were discussing. So number 1 case where the buyer waives the performance. Waive means he gives up. All those who are asking the meaning of waives means he has given up. He has only said that I don't want, for his own benefit, he waived off the stipulation. He said that I don't want to give the goods back. He doesn't want to give the goods back. Or the buyer himself is choosing to treat the breach of condition as breach of warranty. Both these cases are clear. I just explained you, buyer does not want to part with the goods, so he only wants to claim the damages. Now this non-severable contract where the goods cannot be separated. For example, A agrees to supply 10 bags of first quality sugar at the rate of rupees 625. ए ने बी को कहा कि मैं आपको 10 bags of sugar दूंगा 625 per bag. First quality means अच्छी quality of sugar देंगे. But he actually supplied only second quality sugar, which was 600 rupees per bag. So B felt very angry. I made a contract with you for 625 per bag only for first quality sugars. And now you have mixed second quality sugar also in between. Now it is very difficult, the sugar has got mixed up. Though there was good quality sugar also, but second quality means थोड़ी poor quality sugar बीच में mix हो गई. So can you just sit and you can find out how much sugar has been mixed? Contract is non-severable means contract को divide नहीं करा जा सकता. You went to the market to purchase basmati rice. He has mixed ordinary rice also. Can you sit over there and in a huge bag, I'm saying, एक थाली में तो आप चावल चुन सकते हो. But अगर whole rag of wheat, of rice, he has mixed it 10 kg of rice. Can you sit and find it out? No. You cannot you cannot separate that contract. Here the buyer can either accept whole the goods or he can just reject the goods and claim the damages. So if the buyer elects, he can treat the breach of condition and he can reject the goods. Or if he wants to treat it as breach of warranty, he can accept the second quality sugar and claim the damages of rupees 25 per bag. 625 का कहता मैंने खरीदना था, but you're giving me sugar of 600 rupees per bag only. So rupees 25 per bag. 25 rupees into 10 bags, so 2500 rupees he can claim as the damages for giving a goods which cannot be separable. So law says where the contract is such that it cannot be severable and the buyer has given the acceptance. What is the meaning of acceptance? Section 72 of Indian Contract Act. Offer acceptance. Contract कैसे बनता है? A gives an offer to B to buy a goods. B accepts his, sends his acceptance. He has made a contract. So once you have accepted the contract, which is non-severable means which cannot be separated. लिख लो. Non-severable means which cannot be separated. So now in this case, he can only claim the damages. He cannot return the goods. And where it has been excused by reason of impossibility of performance, there also you can only claim the damages. You cannot return the goods. Clear हो गया? So there are two types of waiver. One is voluntarily waiver. I have only given up my voluntary means out of your choice. Buyer ने ही बोल दिया कि I want to waive the performance, मुझे नहीं लेने हैं, goods वापस नहीं करने हैं, then it is voluntary waiver. Compulsory waiver means जहाँ पे contract को divide नहीं करा जा सकता, non-severability है, there it is compulsory. Now another one small topic I want to cover with you and then we will discuss your doubts. Let us see the examples of conditions and warranties. P wants to purchase a car from Q. It should have a mileage of 20 km per liter. So I give you 1 minute. Just read this example number 1 and then we will discuss what is the condition and what is warranty in this example. Just read it. So P wants to purchase a car from Q. So Q is the seller and P is the buyer. Car should have a mileage of 20 km per liter. So in 1 liter, the car should be able to drive for 20 kilometers. Now Q pointing at a particular vehicle, he says this car will be suitable for you. He's giving the express condition. He's saying that, okay, fine, this condition I'm going to fulfill for you. He has imposed this condition that I want a car, only that car I want to purchase, which can run 20 kilometers in 1 hour. And now after purchasing that particular car from the seller, he found that it is only having a top mileage of 15 kilometers per liter. In this case, it is a breach of condition. Why? Because this stipulation was the essence of the contract. मैं तो आया ही आपके पास इसलिए था कि अगर आप मुझे ऐसी गाड़ी दीजिए तो 20 किलोमीटर पर लीटर की माइलेज देती है. But now this condition has been breached. Therefore, Mr. P can go and return the goods and he can claim his money back. Clear ho gaya? So this is the ideal example of condition. What happens in warranty? Maruti car that he was buying, he thought it is for touring purposes. Presentation में जो example करा हमने, but non-fulfillment of this condition, he purchased the car and now he can return the car and refund of the money can also happen. Very, very important line. Mark this line, very, very important. If your condition is breached, you can also return the car and you can get the refund of the price money also. Why? Because condition is a stipulation which was very related for forming the contract. Now it has not been fulfilled, so you can return the goods. However, if there was a guarantee given for the manufacturing defect for 1 year period, now those who were asking time period, अब इसने time period के साथ दिया, उसने गारंटी दी कि 1 साल में कोई भी अगर आपको डिफेक्ट आएगा तो हम उसके रिप्लेसमेंट देंगे डिफेक्टिव पार्ट का. After 6 months, the horn of the car was not working. Now, what will you do if you have purchased a car and after 6 months or 1 year, if the horn starts working, will you go and say breach of condition? No, ma'am, it is not breach of condition. It is breach of warranty. Now you cannot terminate the contract. You can only get it repaired or replaced. You only have the right to claim the damages. Let's take another example, which you all have to answer me. You purchased a car, a new i20 you have purchased, or maybe a Grand i10 new car you have purchased, and it is the same white color car that you wanted to buy, and the car is also running at a very good speed. Now that car's horn is not working at all. आप एक नई गाड़ी खरीद कर लाए और उस गाड़ी का हॉर्न चलता ही नहीं. ब्रीच ऑफ कंडीशन है, ब्रीच ऑफ वारंटी है? जल्दी बताओ. दिव्यांशी हिंदी में भी कर रहे हैं साथ साथ एक्सप्लेन. आई होप नाउ यू आर अंडरस्टैंडिंग बच्चा. Yes, Krishna Nandan, you must make your own notes with your own handwriting. Even if it is written over here, you must write it because लिख कर हमें जल्दी learn होता है. Okay, are you answering me? Because I've started reading your queries also. Mr. Ravin Kumar, we have already done unit 1. We are doing second chapter of sale of goods, that is condition and warranties. Krishna Nandan Upadhyay, studying materials say you have to refer to the study material for making your notes. Okay. Akib contract non-severable means जो separate नहीं करा जा सकता. Severable means separated. Non-severable means something which cannot be separated. So now if the horn of the car is not working, what will you treat it as? Breach of condition or breach of warranty? Tell me. Yes, got the mileage is a condition. 2.1 topic. Janvi, we are yet to do 2.1 stipulation as to time. We will do it. Now somebody saying breach of condition, somebody saying, yes, Mr. Gaurav, your queries are easily visible. Question, many of you have written breach of warranty. So if you have purchased a car, children, and now it is not, yes, Anshika, it's sufficient. Study material and PPT, it is sufficient. You purchased a car and the horn is not working. Don't you think it's a breach of condition? This is a breach of implied condition. So tomorrow when we discuss about the detailed implied condition, there you will understand why it is breach of condition and why not breach of warranty. In that particular example that we did in the study, after 1 year, if the horn stops working, now it is covered in a warranty period. But अगर आप गाड़ी खरीद कर लाए हैं और उसकी बेसिक फुलफिलमेंट कंडीशन ही नहीं फुलफिल हो रही है, हॉर्न तो चलना चाहिए ना, implied condition. So all these kind of things where I told you the pen should be for working, the car should be for driving, horn is necessary condition. So all these kind of things where it is a necessary condition to be imposed, which is implied, it will become as the implied condition. All right. Anand Gaur is saying section 13 fourth point explain kar dijiye. So fourth point says that something which has become impossible to perform. So you made a contract and now it is not being able to fulfill. You wanted to give the delivery of goods in plastic bags and now the plastic bags are banned. So here you will treat it as breach of warranty. कुछ ऐसा law नहीं लगा दिया है कि अब आप possible नहीं कर सकते. You have made a contract for purchase of certain medicines and now those medicines and drugs have been banned by the government. So here you can only claim the damages. Somewhere where law is intervening in between, there you have to treat as breach of condition as breach of warranty. Okay, so let's cover the small point stipulation as to time, section 11 also. It says sometimes the stipulation is related to the time period. Now this is one of my favorite topics and very, very simple and interesting. Though the language sounds very tricky, but agar aap dhyan se meaning sunenge, to it is very simple. It says unless a different intention appears, stipulation as to time and payment are not the essence of the contract. However, stipulation as to time may sometimes be the part of the contract. वो कह रहे जो टाइमिंग है ना, कई बार टाइमिंग भी एक कंडीशन हो जाता है. एक कंडीशन तो आपने समझ ली कि गाड़ी माइलेज देनी चाहिए, गाड़ी इस कलर की चाहिए, पेंसिल चलनी चाहिए. All these kind of express and implied conditions we have just spoken about. But sometimes the condition is related to the timings. So for example, it's your birthday today. So 12th July है and आज किसी का birthday. Let's assume it's birthday of, okay, let's say it's birthday of Mr. Krishna Katel. So it's Mr. Krishna's Katel's birthday today. Mr. Katel, it's his birthday today and he ordered a birthday cake for himself. उसने अपने लिए अच्छा से एक chocolate birthday cake order करा. Now, if it is today Mr. Katel's birthday and he has placed the order for birthday cake and this birthday cake got delivered to him on 14th July. Is it fair? It's here a condition related to timing has been imposed. You have placed an order for a particular occasion. It's your birthday today. You have to cut the birthday cake today itself. You have organized a party. People are coming and invited to it. You have to do the honor on the same time. And now this person is bringing your cake after 2 days, after your birthday is over. So here you can reject the goods. You can refuse to pay the price because stipulation as to time has been breached. So law says sometimes the timing is also the essence of the contract. Although he says timing and payment is okay, main आपने condition and warranty देखना है. जरूरी नहीं है कि timing. For example, आपने online purchase करा, you purchased a kurti and you liked it, and there was a delay in delivery. So it has to come on 15th July, but it came on 20th July. So it's okay. You have already made the payment. You don't mind it. But at the same time, you have purchased a lehenga for your wedding, and it's your wedding today. And after your wedding, after 3 days of your wedding, that lehenga is coming. You have 100% right to reject the goods. So law says sometimes the stipulation are related to your time period. That is that if the timing is the essence of the contract. So on birthday cakes, wedding cakes, it's your mom, dad's anniversary today. You have prepared a nice cake. You have ordered a nice cake and they're bringing the cake after 10 days. You will, first of all, you'll get very angry. Your mood will get spoiled because on that date, he did not get the cake. And straight away, you'll throw it out and you will ask for the refund of money also. Because here the time was the essence of the contract. But if you are like me and you're very fond of eating cakes, then you might not even reject it. You might accept it after 10 days also. But here I'm just trying to teach you that where time becomes important. So जहाँ पे time bound चीजें हैं, there it becomes, the seller becomes bound to deliver the goods to you on time. It is his duty. It is his responsibility. It is the implied condition of time to deliver the goods on that particular day. All right. I hope it's clear, students. Thankfully, we could start off with and we could do whatever we have planned, even in spite of having little network errors in between today. Now is your favorite time. Send me as many queries you want. We have time. Krishna Katel, I hope now you are clear with conditions and warranties. Manisha says, yes, it's not fair if birthday cake is coming later on. All right. Good, Asha. All right. Absolutely clear, ma'am. I'm getting. So that's wonderful. So everything is clear. Thank you, Venkat Lakshmi. Thank you, Krishna Singh. Can we ask for a fund of money? Yes, Krishna Singh. Since breach of condition has happened, you can return the goods and you can also ask for the refund of money. Good, Rohani and Akib. Everything is clear. Muskan, Narveria. Thank you. You can ask me now anything if you want to ask students. Future goods. So, Mr. Saurabh, where we were discussing about section 6, 7, and 8, there we were talking about the subject matter, but definition, you are correct. It is given under section 2, subsection 6. Okay. Yes, Divyanshi, all the MCQs and descriptive questions given behind the chapters should be done by you. You have to do them. And if you have any queries, you can ask. Miss Anshika Jain, if something has been banned and it has become impossible to perform, law says under section 13, in that case, yes, you can only claim the damages. You cannot return the goods. It becomes a compulsory breach of condition to be treated as breach of warrant. Thank you, Ritu. Akib, third point. Okay, I'll explain you. Anshika, I hope your point is clear now. Okay, warranty is treated as okay. Urvishi asked me specific point, bacha, what you want to understand in that. Meaning of waived, Mr. Obey. Waive means to give up. So buyer himself says that I want to waive it off. I don't want to return the goods. Thank you, Mr. Prem. Yes, Mr. Yashaz, that can be treated as breach of warranty. All right, Ms. Janvi, but don't forget to revise the content that we have done today also. That's nice, Vidisha. Everything clear, clear. Thank you, Asha Begum. We'll revise today. Yes, Krishna, that's good. Okay. So, 13, section 13, Mr. Akib. Point number 3 says non-severable means where the contract cannot be divided into two parts. For example, you purchased basmati rice and the seller has mixed ordinary rice also into it. So now the rice has got mixed. So you cannot separate it. It is not possible to divide the good two things. However, if you have purchased 5 packets of bread, so he gave you 2 packets of whole wheat bread and 3 were maida bread. So now you're not liking these 3 breads, you can return them. But here rice or sugar, something like that, if it has got mixed, so law says now you cannot return the goods. You have given the acceptance as per the contract act. Now you can only claim the damages. Okay. Thank you, Vidisha. Thank you, Asha. What happens? How can claim the damages? Anshika, you can only claim the damages when it becomes you cannot return the goods. Miss P. Yamini, your question relates with chapter 3, so you will understand it there. Bittu Singh is asking what is the meaning of collateral. Collateral means related. एक होता है essential, which is very important for the contract. एक होता है collateral, which means it is not very important part of the contract. Like horn, I just told you that is an important part of contract. I don't know why you all said breach of warranty, but don't worry, you will understand when we'll do all the implied conditions and warranties. You'll understand. After has to return the previous installment. Yes, Krishna Singh, he will return the previous installments. Good, Mr. Nangoel. All of you should make the notes of the lecture that we have done. Thank you, Mr. Keshav. Thank you, Pratyush. Thank you, okay. Thank you, all of you. Mr. Amit Newpain, implied conditions and warranties we'll do in the next chapter. You want to do it right now only? In case delivery delay of partnership, again, this is the same. This is like chapter 3 question. Yeah, meaning. Okay, thank you, Mr. Om Gupta. I'm so happy to read that all of you have understood it very clearly and nicely. Thank you, Mr. Akif. Sale of goods done. So please revise it, make your notes, and don't forget to do all the questions of descriptive questions given after chapter 1 and go through MCQs and ascertainment of price भी एक बारी दोबारा पढ़ लेना, revise कर लेना जो भी हमने. Thank you. See you on Friday. Goodbye.